If you're a leader in the public sector or in K-12 education, you know the pressure is on. It feels like you're constantly being asked to do more with less. Well, in this explainer, we're diving into the IT Partnership Playbook. It's a fantastic report from Bob Slovic over at Virtualization Options LLC, and it lays out a roadmap for rethinking your IT partnerships, not just to save a buck, but to actually innovate for the future.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at the massive financial squeeze hitting public institutions. Then, we'll get into something called the legacy provider trap and why so many organizations are stuck. After that, we'll explore what newer challenger partners bring to the table, map out how to make a strategic switch, and finally, leave you with a playbook you can act on.
All right, let's jump right in. The heart of the problem is this huge disconnect, right? Technology has become absolutely essential for everything we do in the public sphere, but the money to support it? It's just not keeping up. And to give you an idea of how serious this squeeze is, look at this number. We're talking about a 23% average budget cut in IT over just the last 3 years. These aren't just little trims around the edges. These are deep cuts that have a real, lasting impact. So what's the ripple effect of those cuts? Well, it's a staggering $2.4 billion in postponed IT projects. Think about that. That's billions in security upgrades, modernization, and new educational tools that are just sitting on a shelf. But here's the real kicker. Those short-term savings, they come with some pretty scary hidden costs. The report points out that putting off maintenance means you're just waiting for an expensive emergency. Using outdated systems, that's like leaving the front door wide open for security threats. And in our schools, not having modern tech can create real gaps in student achievement. Okay, so this problem goes way deeper than just budgets. It's really about these invisible walls that keep organizations stuck, often with providers who have zero incentive to innovate because, well, they're already getting paid to protect the status quo. And the report gives these walls a name: exit barriers. I love this term. It perfectly describes all those contractual, technical, and financial hurdles that make it feel almost impossible to switch IT providers, even when you know there are better, more creative options out there. And this is how they get you. It's a combination of things. You might be locked into a multi-year contract with huge penalties for leaving early. Or maybe you're totally dependent on their proprietary software. Or the thought of migrating all your data just seems like a nightmare. All of this is designed, whether intentionally or not, to keep you right where you are. So how do you break free from that trap? Well, the answer often lies with some of the newer, more agile partners on the scene. You see, they compete on a totally different playing field. They have to rely on being creative and innovative to win your business, not on locking you in. And this really shows the huge mindset shift. It's about moving away from that old model of just buying technology, where you have to pay a ton upfront and you take on all the risk. The new model is about a true strategic partnership. That means predictable costs, access to incredible expertise, and a partner who's actually in it with you, sharing the risk. At the end of the day, these challenger partners build their entire value prop around solving the problems of that old model. They have to compete on cost with better pricing. They have to compete on service with proactive support. And they have to compete on innovation by giving you access to the latest tech. It's all about getting you ready for the future, not just chaining you to the past. Okay, that all sounds really promising, right? But how do you actually make the switch? Let's walk through the report's roadmap for evaluating and, choosing the right partner for you. The secret sauce here is a structured process that gets all the right people involved. You start by figuring out what you actually need. Then you go through the whole process and end up with a choice that isn't just about the lowest price, but about who's the best strategic fit. This gets everyone, from your IT director all the way up to the superintendent, pulling in the same direction. And a huge piece of this is using data to make your decision, with a framework just like this one. By putting a weight on what's most important to you, maybe it's system uptime, maybe it's cost, you create a really objective comparison. It completely shifts the conversation from who we've always used to what the numbers actually tell us. But, numbers on a spreadsheet don't make a great partnership. The report really hammers this home. You have to look at the qualitative stuff too. Does this provider actually get your mission? Are they really innovators? Are they looking for a long-term collaboration or just a quick sale? These questions are absolutely critical. And here's what it looks like when it all comes together perfectly. This quote from a superintendent says it all.
a total transformation of what they could do, while also cutting costs by 30%. This proves that this approach isn't just theory, it really works. All right, let's bring it all home. Let's distill all of this down into a final, actionable playbook that you can use to guide your next steps. The report boils it all down to these 5 key recommendations. 1. Evaluate everyone with objective criteria. 2. Negotiate smart contracts that have clear exit strategies built in. 3. Think about teaming up with others in your region to get more buying power. 4. Find solutions that are actually designed for your specific needs. And 5. Make this a continuous process with regular reviews. So, where do you start? The journey of 1,000 miles, right? It all begins with one single manageable step. Just take a really thorough and honest look at your current IT services. Find the pain points, identify the gaps, and get your key people talking about it from day one. And that brings us to the one final question the report leaves us with, and it's a powerful one. You really have to ask yourself, is your current IT partner helping you build your future, or are they just protecting their past? The answer to that could change everything.